What uppers? It's me, Sin, and today we need to have an honest conversation about Street Fighter 6. No, not the gameplay, because the gameplay is fantastic, but the way Capcom is handling the game as a product, because right now, Street Fighter 6 is stuck in an identity crisis. And that crisis is what's causing the stagnation a lot of players are feeling. Street Fighter 6 doesn't know what kind of game it wants to be, and that's the real problem. Capcom wants to treat Street Fighter 6 like it's a live service game, but they're supporting it like a traditional fighting game. And that contradiction is exactly why the fighting game community is so frustrated. This isn't about balancing patches, tier lists, or which character is strong this week. This is about strategy. And right now, Capcom is mismanaging Street Fighter 6 as a foundational level. To understand the issue, we must first talk about the difference between a traditional game and a live service game. Traditional games are finite products. You buy the game, you play the game, you master the game, and maybe you get a balancing patch or two before the next entry comes out. There are no seasons, there are no engagement loops, and no constant monetization systems. That's how classic Street Fighter games worked for decades. Live service games, on the other hand, are not products, they're platforms. They're designed for long-term engagement through constant updates, season content, events, cosmetics, battle passes, and frequent reasons to log in. Games like Marvel Rivals, Apex Legends, Overwatch 2, and even NBA 2K live and die by momentum. If the content slows down, players stop showing up. Momentum is everything in a live service game. And here's where Street Fighter 6 runs into trouble. Capcom clearly wants the benefits of a live service model. I mean, they have battle passes, they have cosmetics, monetization, engaged metrics, and ongoing revenue. But they're doing it at a traditional support pace. And that's not good, because this way causes long content droughts, minimum experimentation, slow updates, and quite frankly, it causes the players to lose attention, especially during majors. And that's not good. You can't have it both ways. You can't go get to monetize like a live service while supporting the game like it's still 2009. That's live service monetization with traditional development. It's the worst possible combination, and it will do a disservice to you and your company. One of the main or the biggest red flag is the way Capcom handles seasons. Live service games are built around seasonal structure, so let's compare. Overwatch 2, it runs about 6 seasons per year. Destiny 2 runs roughly 8 seasons per year. Marvel Rivals, they just had a year anniversary, and they just did about 6 seasons this year. Even NBA 2K runs about 6 to 8 seasons per year. Now let's talk about Street Fighter 6. Street Fighter 6 only runs 1 season per year. We're in the 3rd season. That is just ridiculous. Like I said, this used to work back in the day, especially with Street Fighter 4 and Street Fighter 5. But you can't do that now, especially not in this financial climate. 1 season per year is dangerous. That means you have no short-term goals, no urgency, no rhyme, no rhythm, and no real reason to log into the game. And before you come in, it's like, well, that doesn't matter. It's a fighting game. We're different from everybody else. Stop lying to yourself. The whole model that they're using for Street Fighter 6 is a live service, but it's just not working. And this is why the fighting game community is upset. This isn't entitlement. It's not even whining. This is frustration coming from months of stagnation, long stretch of silence, and a complete lack of meaningful shakeups. Between majors, the games feel quiet, and fighting games players are loyal. But loyalty has its limits. And if there's nothing new to explore, nothing new to work toward, nothing new to talk about, people disengage. That's not a player problem. That's a structural problem. What makes this even more frustrating with me is that Capcom didn't do this with Street Fighter 5. Let's be real. Street Fighter 5, when it came out, it launched rough. It was horrible. But eventually they did more experimentation, more transparency, more communication, and it ended up being a very good game at the end of its shelf life. Whereas they're doing the absolute opposite with Street Fighter 6. Street Fighter 6 is digression. I mean, honestly, quite frankly, it came out hot, real smoking, fire. Not as hot as Street Fighter 4, but just as much as it did, and now it's digression. Now it's just falling by the wayside. It's actually decreasing, and that's a shame. At this point, Capcom needs to make a decision, and I'm going to say it plainly, or get off the pot. Either go all in on live service with shorter seasons, mid-season balancing patches, events, experimental modes, a real roadmap, and clear communication, or drop the live service illusion entirely. Scale back on the monetization and focus purely on competitive integrity. Street Fighter 6 has the foundation to be one of the best fighting games ever made, but the foundations doesn't matter if the house is not being built properly. Capcom really needs to decide what Street Fighter 6 is, because the community actually knows what it isn't. And with that, let me know how you feel in the comments. Are you feeling the stagnation? Or you think Capcom is okay doing the pace that they're going? No, let us know. Like, share, and subscribe, and share it with everybody in the FGC, or share it with people outside the FGC, because we are suffering over here. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? So just let us know. All right. You guys have a blessed one as well as a good one, and I'll hit you up to the next one. And remember, hold the set. I got next.